Going Streaking is sponsored by
Liquor.
Well, it's Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take a liquor's gonna take you there.
Yeah, you might not physically be there, but you'll feel like you're there. You might feel like shit the next morning, but at least for the evening, it'll take your pain away.
Cheers, liquor.
We're going streaking! Yes!
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you be. This is Going Streaking. My name is Jed, and I'm right next to my dear old friend El Guapo. How you doing, El Guapo?
Living the dream as usual. We actually have a special guest in the studio today. We got JT. He's going to be giving us his perspective on some of the bullshit going on in the country, in sports and politics. So go ahead and say hello to the world, JT.
Hello, world. Thank you very much for having me, Jed and Guapo. It's a pleasure and an honor to hang out with you gentlemen this fine day and hear your thoughts. I look forward to adding what little bit of knowledge I might have. It's not a whole lot, but maybe, just maybe, I might add a little bit of my own personal logic to the landscape today.
JT is a proverbial virgin when it comes to the podcasting scheme, and we're ready to pop that damn cherry.
Well, I'm that actual virgin. No proverbial or anything about it. I've never done anything quite like this.
So, as always, we got ourselves a timeline, rundown, whatever you mean, a how-to-do list. El Guapo, tell us what's on the schedule for today.
Well, there's been a lot of things that have gone on this week as we are currently broadcasting on a Friday night, which means we can all booze a little bit harder because we don't have to go to work tomorrow. But because of that, everything from Steph Curry versus Donald Trump to Donald Trump versus the National Football League and Donald Trump against Puerto Rico. And of course, we're going to talk about our NFL picks for the week. NBA training camp starting. Is Lonzo Ball the next Jason Kidd? We're going to get into all of that. And also, late breaking news. Tom Price, the Secretary of Health. Oh, this motherfucker. He used over, what was that, $200,000, $300,000?
$1 million.
In private flights.
Private flights. And he said he would only reimburse $52,000 because that's how much it was for his seat. But he didn't factor in the gas and all of that other shit.
And first class meals and the foot massages and whatever stuff that he liked.
JT, I know you have some knowledge about airplanes, so how much do you think it costs to gas up that private plane?
Well, let's break it down here, guys. Look, I am, admittedly biased towards the aviation industry, right? So I'm going to have, I think, a different perspective than most would on this gentleman utilizing private jets. With that said, the cost of an average flight, it depends on the model of the aircraft, it depends on the mission of the aircraft, and so many other parameters. The cost of fuel, wherever that plane got fuel, hangering, that kind of thing. With all that said, let's pretend that he was on a mid-sized private jet. And let's pretend that private jet had to fly for 2.5 hours, wherever he was going. Typically, airplanes don't fill up. They don't top off their tanks. What they do is they fill up for the mission. So I'm not going to tell you, I don't know what the fuel burn is for an average mid-sized jet, let's say a Lear 60. But it typically costs right around $3,500 to $4,000 an hour to operate a business jet. That factors in the cost of fuel, salaries of the pilots, the hangering, the insurance, what have you.
And staff outside of the pilot.
And I would imagine
Absolutely.
Secret Service as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does try.
That is true.
And that leads me to another point. I don't want to hijack things early on in the podcast here, but...
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But I actually don't poo-poo this man as much as most about the fact that he used private air travel. We had another round of this occur earlier on in the Obama administration when we bailed out the auto industry, and then the chief executives for the three major companies, or was it three or two? Either way, I know two of them flew to Washington on their own Gulfstream aircraft. Very large business jet. The world rebelled. Everyone was talking about, oh my goodness, are they totally and utterly ignorant to what's going on in the world? Their companies are getting bailed out, yet they're flying in Gulfstreams. Blah, 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 blah. And what I think people fail to realize is that the private jet industry employs millions of people. Not just at the airfield, but the people who make the various chemicals and oils and fuels that power these aircraft. Aircraft like these are typically and usually used as a tool. It's popularized in rap videos and stuff in movies about rich guys and sitting in the back of the fat cat syndrome, sitting in the back of an airplane. But in actuality, most of the business jet flights you see happening during the course of a day are people not wanting to use the hub system to get from point A to point B.
That makes sense. And if we were to play devil's advocate, let's think about some of those things you said. If it almost sounds to me as if the private jet industry pumps a lot of money back into the economy.
Absolutely.
So there's that. We'll give them that. That's a fair point. And again, playing devil's advocate, let's talk about the fact if this man were to get on a Southwest airline, a Delta,
right,
American, United,
yep,
and somebody recognized him that was against his ideology, the Trump administration, it would probably get ugly. You'd probably have a lot of seats taken up by Secret Service, and would be a complete ass whip for
Delta flight,
for all of the passengers.
Exactly. And
yeah,
he took these flights. Let's going on with the narrative that we're going with here. He took these flights, and it cost X amount of dollars. The cost to fly that 2.5 hour flight, and it wouldn't be 2.5 hours, remember, because private jets go point to point, whereas the hub system, you have to fly into the hub and then catch another flight to go where you want to go. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that's the case with all of the flights that he booked, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of his flights he would have had to travel via the hub system. So there would have been a lot of time lost. It's not just him, as Guapo mentioned, but there's going to be Secret Service. There's going to be attaches and all of his staff that probably fly with him. And all of a sudden now it goes from being a $300 flight to $4,000 flight for 2.5 hours for all 6 people that are traveling with this man.
yeah.
So I think that the media, they're trying to skew this narrative into yet another corrupt politician spending all of the taxpayers' dimes. But what I don't think they're doing is illustrating that maybe not at 100%, but at some level, there is an air of legitimacy to this guy traveling the way he travels.
So it's possible if he decided to go on a commercial airliner, mm-hmm, that it may have actually cost more money because of the security, the fact that, quality control, and the impact they may have done for another airline. Quite possible.
Well, the flight itself wouldn't have cost more. The flight itself would be less. However, the potential for a situation drives the cost up that much more, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way to put a dollar amount on that, right? We don't know. But even I've been on a commercial flight with Karl Rove. I have. And it's funny because
From the Bush administration.
It was. It was Karl Rove and Emmitt Smith on a private jet flying from I was coming from some Super Bowl back to Dallas. And
did it sound something like this?
And for those podcasters don't know the knowledge of that sound, he just played Chewbacca.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I understand. And it didn't sound like that, not quite. But before the flight boarded, they had to scour the jet and make sure everything was legit on the inside, right? And then these two had to board before anyone else. Mm-hmm. So all of us plebeians are sitting out there in the concourse, waiting for them to finally let us board this aircraft and go. In my opinion, that's time, and time is of value to me, right? So again, I don't excuse this gentleman for flying private jets everywhere he goes, especially if he wasn't doing it on business. But there's certainly a lot more to the story than what I think is being played out in the media right now.
And I guess because this is a story that came out today,
we still need to get more facts.
Exactly. So more to come. Maybe we'll address it next week.
I just think, in my opinion, with Tom Price, just some of his ideology makes me hate the guy. So the fact that he resigned, even though I can play devil's advocate and see why he decided to use a private jet, don't talk about wasting taxpayer dollars and then, you're flaunting it out there. So to me, it's a very fine line. But again, that's late breaking news. So we figured we'd get that out of the way.
And now to address the elephant in the room.
And the elephant's going to be here for a hot minute. So, our president, Donald J. Trump, invited the Golden State Warriors, the 2017 NBA champions, to come visit the White House. However, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and many other Warriors players were very conflicted due to their, how shall we put this delicately? I guess they had a difference of ideology, and they just decided maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. So Trump, in all of his Trumpness, decides to act like a 6-year-old schoolgirl bitch that was that had a birthday party, and one of her friends decided not to go, saying, "Hey, Katie, I don't want to go to your party, so yeah, I'm not going." And then for let's just say Brenda, I've never met a nice Brenda. Let's just say Brenda's like, "Well, you know what, Katie? I'm uninviting you. You're not invited." Yeah. That's basically what our president did to Steph Curry and the Warriors, because Steph Curry already said he wasn't going to come.
Yeah. And if you think we may be coming up with fake news, at Real Donald Trump, our president, he literally said, going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Stephen Curry is hesitating, which we believe he definitely wasn't. Therefore, invitation withdrawn. Timestamp 7:45 a.m. on September 23rd. So he woke up, probably still in his drawers, tweeting that.
And I'm glad you mentioned the tweet. And if anybody's listening that may slide a little bit far to the right, just consider this. Watch something other than Fox News. And watch it with an open mind. And really pay attention to what the president says. Don't pay attention to Wolf Blitzer, Sean Hannity, and the commentators' thoughts and opinions on the president. I want you to watch the press conferences, listen to the words coming out of his mouth, and make your own interpretation. Because I think if that were truly the case, and you were willing to swallow your pride, you may just surprise yourself, and you may end up coming to the realization that we elected an asshole. But that's my rant. JT, what do you think?
I think that Trump is the product of our time. Not to go off the deep end here, but I feel that America is on a death spiral towards the environment as portrayed in the movie Idiocracy.
Oh, absolutely.
We are becoming more and more reliant on stuff as opposed to on our inner grit, our inner being, what have you. And I think that it's not necessarily our fault. I think that technology has sped up faster than humans have evolved. And what made me think this is Game of Thrones, interestingly enough. I was watching Game of Thrones. I was binging it. And there was a scene where one of the guys was talking about he's using the sword.
Spoiler warning. Sorry to cut you
no
off.
Spoilers.
JT.
No spoilers.
Oh, no spoilers?
No, I'm not going to say any spoilers. I promise. He was talking about a sword that his grandfather used and his father, blah, 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 blah. And then another in that same episode, they were talking about how, wars that were fought 1,000 years ago with swords. And that got me to thinking, God damn, they've been using swords for like thousands of years, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, here, now in our society, in this world nowadays, 300 years ago, we were barely, mastering the art of projectile shooting, right?
We're using muskets.
Blah, 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 the whole 9 yards, right? In 300 years, goddamn, now we have the most technologically advanced guns on the planet, right? Even a novice like myself, I'm in the market, I'm about to buy myself a pistol. And they got guns now where I can go, like I've gone to that range right down the street here, Mission Ridge, and I hadn't shot a gun in 20 years. And I'm hitting the target because the guns nowadays are so advanced and the sights are so
precise,
set up and precise that even a novice can hit the target, right? The point I'm trying to make is that humans evolve and grow at a certain pace. When we hit that technological age, when that button was pressed, things progressed faster than our stupid little reptilian minds are able to handle, right? So as a consequence, we become more and more reliant on technology as opposed to reliant on ourselves, on our moral fiber, on who we are. And I think it's getting to the point where we are being told what we're supposed to think. Mm-hmm. And we are being told what we are supposed to do as opposed to coming up with it ourselves. Trump is the product of that. Trump is, at the end of the day, he's a carnival barker. I don't dislike Trump, and I don't think it's his fault that the society is the way it is. I think that he is just the face that represents this, for lack of a better way of putting it, this swamp that we all are floating around in right now. He is. We created him and we put him in office. And we did that because, number one, the 24-hour news cycle, we have to have our news fast and loud, and we watch nothing but reality TV, and in reality TV, there has to be a loser.
Twitter.
Huh? And Twitter, exactly.
Yeah.
And he is the anti-Obama. And if you watch, I don't know, Survivor, Big Brother, what have you.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Right. It's all about winners and losers, and it's all about voting off the next man, right? Trump was the natural fit for the way we were set up under Obama.
I've been having Italian dinner for the last 7 days. Give me a damn steak for now. It's completely different than what I've been doing for the last 7 days.
Exactly.
And that's probably what the society was thinking. And to keep it within the realm of sports, on that same day, remember it's early in the morning, still East Coast time, arguably the GOAT in basketball, the LeBron James of Pride of Akron, Ohio, says on 10:17 a.m. on September 23rd, and mind you, the White House didn't even invite Golden State yet. He says, "You bum." At Stephen Curry 30, which is Steph Curry's tag on Twitter, already said he ain't going. So therefore, ain't no invite. Going to the White House was a great honor until you showed up. Thoughts?
Well, you already know I dislike our president because as someone that identifies in a minority group and someone that has a child with pre-existing condition. It's really tough for me to stand behind a man that has made comments that offended my ethnic background, my family, my friends, especially Muslims. I have a handful of friends that are Muslim, and they are some of the funniest, most hospitable people you will ever meet. And the fact that Trump has basically thrown a general label on all folks of that religion, I just think is very dangerous, because we all know that his base, those folks that are racist, and listen, I have friends that are Trump supporters, and I'm still friends with them. There may have been some awkwardness after the election, I'll admit it, but at the same time, they voted for him because of financial reasons. They believed that Donald Trump, the alleged successful businessman, and I say alleged because depending on your point of view, as the great Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, it really is all about perception on that one. Because the facts are the facts. The man has filed for bankruptcy many times. Of course, he defended himself by saying that it was the right thing to do. He allegedly made money. But come on, man. A casino. How the fuck do you lose out on a casino? I mean, he must have had some pretty shitty slot machines there that really must have, people must have been winning a lot of money there. But I digress. The point is, it's really hard for me to look at the television, look at Twitter, and think to myself, the way this man speaks to the country, this is our president. Especially when he was talking to the United Nations. And as much as I don't like North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, calling him Rocket Man, and yes, I'll admit, I had a good laugh. But I don't know if that was the right move. But going back into sports, Mr. President, you just need to stay in your lane. If you're going to be telling these athletes to stay in their lane, stick to sports, why don't you stick to running the country? Stay off of Twitter. Get off of social media altogether. You criticized President Obama several times. Now, whether you loved Obama or you hated him, the fact of the matter is he didn't go golfing nearly as much as Trump. Hell, there's a statistic out there, and look it up. Feel free to look up a fact-checking website. I'm not going to do it right now, but there was some statistic out there that showed that Donald Trump, the amount of golfing that he has done in the first 100-plus days of being a president, is already greater than the amount that Obama did in his first 4 years. And Donald Trump actually had a tweet where he criticized the president.
A few tweets for golfing when he should have been working. So, to me, don't call, that's the pot calling the kettle black. So for me, that's just... Pun intended?
I guess so, if you wanted to look at it that way. And also, I believe he had a tweet a while back with the Washington football team. And as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm not a fan of that team in Washington. But Donald Trump said that everybody should just leave the name alone. And, basically told politicians to stay in their lane, so to speak. So I just think it's very hypocritical of the president to be telling people what they need to do. especially that he told NFL owners, or at least he told it to a bunch of white supremacists in Alabama,
Yeah,
that
those
those
Alabama.
quote-unquote sons of bitches should be fired for not standing for the national anthem.
Should we give them the full-on quote? I kind of...
Yeah, go for it.
Damn it, technology failed me on this moment, but I did have it at this on this
Well, as you pull it up, it's it was a very interesting thing that was, interesting turn of events as that was going down, because the first question I had for me was, why is he still having campaign rallies? Didn't he already win? And isn't that his thing? He tells people, "Hey guys, I won. Get over it." So why are we still having campaign rallies? It's very Hitler-like to me that he's walking around, going around the nation, gathering crowds of people and preaching. So anyway, I digress.
So the quote here is like, wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out! He's fired. He's fired. He said that at the rally for Republican Senator Lutton Strange in Alabama.
Who, by the way, lost.
Who, yeah, he did love. Some owner is going to do that. He's going to say that guy disrespects our flag. Now, I guess we're going to start having the, topic of the week discussion about the flag. Once he said that, it opened up a full-scale firestorm. It didn't just happen in the NFL. We got responses in the NBA, even Major League Baseball, and we're in the Bible Belt itself. NASCAR country had a response as well. I'm just going to leave it for you guys to start talking, because I have a key point to talk about, and I won't lay it out until later on about disrespecting the flag.
Ooh, I got some points too, sir.
Oh yeah,
Well,
maybe you got the same one as me, but it's very interesting.
Well, here's
Go ahead,
my
friend.
take. To me, why are people so pissed off about someone peacefully protesting, taking a knee? They're not saying shit. They're just taking a knee. That's it. They're not flipping off the flag. They're not pissing on the flag. They're just taking a knee. So why is it that there's so much outrage over an NFL player taking a knee as opposed to someone, domestic violence in the NFL? I mean, to me, I almost look at it as some of these NFL fans. They look at these players like a sideshow. Maybe I'm taking it too far. Beg your pardon. I've heard some folks say that these owners, they've used slave plantation owner analogies. Basically saying these players are their slaves. They do what they're told. Now, maybe that's a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, there's so many more injustices in the world. You have folks getting hurt. You have folks in Puerto Rico that don't have water, that don't have electricity.
Food.
It just happened just a couple of days
Exactly.
ago. He let go of the Maritime Act that allowed foreign boats that weren't U.S. owned to finally help transport resources to take care of these people. I've heard from personal friends that are Puerto Rican themselves that have family in Puerto Rico. These people, they're not begging for, aid. They're not asking
It's not a
FEMA or anything.
handout.
They're not asking for. They actually have money in their own hands, looking to spend for food and water, their own income. But the one issue is there's no food or water to actually spend that expendable income to actually take care of their families.
Now, the real question is, a lot of people have been saying, to add to your point, this is Trump's Katrina.
I've said that myself.
But would you say it's worse?
Well, I mean, I read an actual interview or article, I guess, about this just today, and we're talking about an apple to oranges comparison insofar as Katrina was here on mainland United States, right? And the response to Katrina was atrocious, considering that there were highways that led to New Orleans, and we still couldn't get help in good, right? So again, I'm not trying to defend the Trump administration, but it is in fact an island. You do have to fly and ship stuff in. Now, has the response been good? Hell no. No. But I wouldn't go as far as to say it's Katrina yet. That's all I'll say in defense of him. But with that said, yesterday I got a phone call. Yesterday. From a friend of mine here in San Antonio who is of Puerto Rican descent, who has family in Puerto Rico. And the man was upset to the point where I thought he might start crying because his family has no power. They have nothing down there, and they're struggling. And he's asking me, you've met him, Jose. And he's asking me, I have to get this generator. I went to Home Depot and bought a power generator. I have to get it down there. Can you think of any way for me to get a power generator to Puerto Rico? And I'm like, man, I don't have anything for you. I don't know how you would do it. But he was desperate, so desperate that he's calling me just because I work at an airport to get a power generator to his family down there. Now, if they're at this level of desperation, then it's hard for me to be convinced that this line that the Fox News types of the world are feeding us, that the response or the recovery is awesome. And Trump today, I think you're going to play the clip in a little bit, talking about, we're providing aid the likes of which no one's ever seen before. We're doing all this awesome stuff. I'm sorry, but when people are so desperate that they're just reaching out for any kind of assistance, any kind of help from people who don't know shit from shit like me, I think that's indicative of a very, very bad situation brewing down there.
Absolutely. And J.J. Barea, since we are a sports show as well, Mark Cuban was generous enough to provide his private jet to J.J. Barea to take food and supplies to his family.
Tim Duncan's past resources also, because it's not only Puerto Rico, which is the territory of the United States.
Virgin Islands.
The Virgin Islands. Help money. Carmelo Anthony, previously of the New York Knicks, has done a foundation because his ex-wife Lala is of Puerto Rican descent.
Jennifer Lopez as well, I believe.
Yes. So a lot of resources have been passed over to the Caribbean of our two territories that lie there to help fund this issue. But the sad thing, you don't have people like the Redneck or Cajun Navy to help take care of these people. They are in the middle of an island, and it's kind of restricted to what the situation is. But big companies like Big Brown, Big Purple, they can't even get there. They said that they're not going to resume services until Monday, and we're on a Friday here, so
2 more days of people suffering.
Yeah, so you have a friend that wants generators shipped down over there, and we won't even get it there. So it's troubling. So
it's very sad. And to kind of bring this back to the main topic about folks getting pissed off about the flag kneeling.
Yes,
this is just one prime example of something bigger going on in the world that people should care more about and should be more upset about, that those folks aren't getting taken care of. But we live in a country where folks will not scream for change, or not scream for help, assistance, or maybe even change their political affiliation until it affects them or their family member. Because I can tell you right now, if it does not affect you, chances are most people aren't going to give a flying fuck. They're going to be like, well, best of luck to
Well,
you.
I mean, that's the political spectrum, right? It's being expedient, right? You act like you care, you wail in the hallways and scream and react with all kinds of pain if it equates to you getting votes, if it equates to you getting paid, right? That's just that's the human way of doing things. But just my thoughts on kneeling. I read or I actually ripped from the internet today, a very, very, very interesting quote, I guess. I don't know if he said it or he just ripped it himself, but Jesse Williams, he's a very outspoken, I guess he's still an actor, but now he spends most of his time, talking about how screwed up Trump is and how the whole right-wing extremism is destroying the country. Which, as an aside, is a reaction to the playing field being a little bit more level. Really, at the end of the day, that's what extremism is. But anyway, and this quote was, "Racism is so American that when we protest racism, the average American assumes we're protesting America." And that really struck a chord with me, because that's really, at the end of the day, what all of these people who wrap themselves in the flag are doing when they get pissed off. We all got that friend, our friends from high school, suburbanite moms or whatever. They get on there talking about, ooh, Colin Kaepernick is an asshole and he should be fired and fuck him, blah, 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 blah. When at the end of the day, they're not even bothering to think about the reason for the protest. They're more mad at the protest than the reason for the protest. There's no such thing as, how do I put it? There's no such thing as a, what's the word? Peaceful? Not peaceful. Convenient protest. Right?
Or PG or PC, I guess.
The whole job of a protest is to bring attention to a cause. And what these people are doing is they're being willfully blind. They are choosing to wrap themselves in the American flag and having a bald eagle perched on their shoulder and act like this protest is a middle finger to the flag. When in essence, it's not. This is a man who feels very strongly, like millions of other people of all creeds and color, about what appears to be mass murder being committed amongst or to people of color by the police. That's what it is. It's nothing else. We've had more than 100 men, unarmed, well, I want to say unarmed, but let's just put it this way. Men that shouldn't be getting shot dead in the street like dogs, getting shot by the police.
Well, that was the initial form of protest coming from Colin Kaepernick, and it's evolved even more to a more broader message.
And I got some thoughts on that too.
A broader message about just respect and equality in general, which I think is a good message that I believe everybody can agree upon. We talked about last year, 2016, police brutality being a big issue. Now we're on another step here. Still talking about Black Lives Matter. I just think in general it should just be People Matter. Charlottesville, which happened last month as well. Somehow, some way, you had people in the extreme end getting a lot more respect from the president, getting the quote, "There's some nice people in that group."
Very fine people.
Very fine people in that group. But somehow, some way, and I'm demonstrating here while I talk, I'm on my knees here. I'm on my knees. So, does that make me a son of a bitch? I don't think so. And if you, as a society, think kneeling is a sign of disrespect, let's rewind to the history of kneeling itself. And I put a post on Facebook, on my own personal Facebook, that kneeling as a history is a sign of respect or show of respect. When you're kneeling to a king or a queen, when you're getting knighted, when you're proposing to your significant other, when you're praying to the Lord above, or any other form of religion. But somehow, some way, when you're on your knees during the national anthem, It's a sign of disrespect.
Well, again, it's just these same patriots who are so fired up. They're getting fired up over bullshit. Legal. What the players are doing, and now owners, is legal. It's not disrupting anything. It's not hurting anything. It's legal protest, which is allowed under. Now, the goddamn. What's wrong? Are we okay?
Yeah, we were just looking at the recording if there was an awkward pause, just to make sure that this podcast is getting recorded, which it is.
Okay,
Continue.
sorry. The anthem, the national anthem, has more than one verse. And the rest of the anthem was, well, first of all, it was written during the War of 1812. And it was basically, it was an inspiration by, what's his name, Francis Scott Key.
Yes.
Because when he woke up the next morning, he saw the flag flying, got it, blah. However, the other verses of this national anthem,
You're talking about the slave part?
reference to slaves, right? Slaves
You didn't know about this, Zach?
were brought into the British.
Wow, I did not
Navy.
know that. I'm a little ashamed.
Yes, because the Britons, they said, hey, look, man, come over to us, fight with us against your former owners, right? So a lot of slaves, thousands of slaves were fighting for the British against these owners, these slave owners. In the national anthem, there's a verse that says something along the lines, I don't remember the exact term and I didn't write it down, but it says,
It's before the home of the free. It's before that part. Home of the free, home of the brave. It's before that part.
But it talks about killing slaves. It says kill the slaves and kill the Britons or something like that, right? So it basically references killing black people even way back then. This is the song that people are worshiping now. This is the song that people are getting so fired up about now. They don't even fucking know that the song that they care so much about, this flag that they care so much about, actually proposes killing the people that are sitting up here on the field right now. And they wonder why people are protesting, why people are so up in arms. Again, it goes back to that leveling of the playing field, right? Things they look at this leveling as them losing power, and they don't look at it like right up front. It's all subconscious, I think. But they look at it like, oh shit, I am not going to have my place in the world that I once had because these people are coming up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what really pisses me off, what really fires me up is this. They look at the football game, an NFL game, as this August wonderful, almost godlike experience, so much so that a player kneeling during the anthem is shocking and abrupt enough for them to want to boycott.
People are burning season tickets.
Burning jerseys, doing all of this crazy shit. There is a bar, it was in Seattle somewhere, where he has 2 jerseys on the floor, taped to the floor, like mats.
Oh, Kaepernick and Lynch.
And they put Lynch in front of Kaepernick. But that's a coincidence. I won't go there, but I'm just saying that it's people are so fired up about this that the national anthem is being, bastardized and messed up, when there are people in this country that have for years, for decades, been shitting on American patriotism. Westboro Baptist Church, they have protested fucking soldiers' funerals. They go to a soldier's funeral and they sit up here and wave their little God hates fag signs and all this shit, messing up and destroying what is probably the most solemn occasion in a family's life, certainly, but certainly something that is much more deserving of respect than a fucking football game. And these guys, they've been doing this for years, but I don't see these American flag wrapped patriots talking about that. I don't see these suburban moms getting on their Facebook and shooting out little stupid memes about that. which is much worse than, in my opinion, than a player peacefully taking a knee at a football game. Where's that? And one last point about this kneeling thing. I've been to a ton of bars watching football games. Tons of them. Tons of them.
I have a feeling where you're going with this,
Yeah.
JT.
Yeah, tons of them. I've watched hundreds of games, thousands of games. And when that national anthem is played, and that bird, that eagle is flying across the station, and the fucking jets are flying over and shit, I don't see none of these motherfuckers in the bar standing
Not
up
one.
with their hand on their chest. I see them ordering more mozzarella sticks. That's the fuck I see them doing.
Yeah.
I don't see them
And to
doing that.
bring
Taking
it
a sip
to your
of their
attention,
drink.
so
Thank you.
So exactly. So, the same people are pointing the fingers, saying that you're disrespectful, and, these players don't have any respect for the flag that we have, and the people that have given their lives, lost their limbs, still alive today, that risked their lives to protect this country. They're saying that these athletes have no honor towards it, whether they're kneeling, in the locker room, locking arms together,
Yeah.
a form of disrespect. But yet those same people, the same people who are saying these things at the same exact events, are probably on their cell phones,
There's probably about they are.
scratching their
Scratch
balls,
nuts. Yep.
walking up to order another
assholes.
walking up for another drink,
Yep.
right?
As a matter of fact, they probably are in line for the drink right now because they want to get their drink before the start of the game.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying, guys. We're all in agreement here.
And just because they're getting paid millions of dollars, that they should have more of a respect than the person who paid for the tickets.
Well, again, this goes right back to almost the whole Fat Cats and Jets argument, right? People have a natural inclination to shit on millionaires, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of what's going on here. And not only are these millionaires, but they're black millionaires, right? It goes back for me to the leveling of the playing field. As time progresses and the playing field gets more level, certain folks can't handle it.
And JT, thank you so much for sharing with the audience about our national anthem's actual origin and the history.
Look it up if you
Look
don't
it up.
believe it.
Look it up and read
is
the lyrics.
True. It is true. What I like to do is also drop another form of knowledge bomb. And I was talking to El Guapo about this on our way, getting,
Oh, this is interesting. This is good because I guarantee you, every 4th of July, you disrespect that flag.
Yes.
I'll let Jed explain.
Alright. So, in our Constitution, in Title 4, Chapter 1, Section 8, no disrespect should be shown to the flag of the United States of America. The flag should not be dipped to any person or thing. So that's referring to like the flag is on a stand already and put forward as if you're knighting or such. But regimental colors, state flags, and organization or institutional flags are to be dipped as part of honor. So, if you're to a soldier, you're fine. But just in regards to disrespect, I'm going to go to, let's see here, Section B in that article. The flag should never touch anything beneath it, such as the ground, the floor, water, or merchandise. So what that is alluding to, merchandise is any piece of article. And the flag should never be used as wearing apparel. So your Ralph Lauren polo shirts, your NASCAR bucket hats, or even those buckles with the flag right on it. That's disrespect to the flag. It should never be festooned, drawn back, nor up in folds. So only way is the triangle official fold, in regards to a death and a memorial. But always allowed to fall free. So the flag should always be flowing with the wind, not stiff. Bunting of blue and white and red always arranged with the blue above, not in any other order. So in regards to our uniforms for the Olympics, so it's just to think that we're not disrespecting the flag, just the fact that we are rearranging it is still a form of disrespect. The white in the middle and the red below should be used for covering a speaker's desk, draping the front of a platform for the decoration in general. So there's many other pieces of this, but I just wanted to share to you. If you are wearing it as part of a garb, if you are wearing it as a form of a skirt, if you are even putting it around, hugging it as if it's a blanket, sadly, even though you have full-on intentions of not disrespecting the flag, you are disrespecting the flag, and that is a federal offense.
But see, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. These people don't know shit about whether or not the flag is being disrespected or not. They don't care about that. They really don't. What they don't like is that people are taking a stand. And that's it.
Which Greg Abbott will never take a stand.
Damn, here you go. That's their only issue. They're not patriots. They act like they're, like America is going to crumble were it not for them putting it on their Facebook how much they hate Colin Kaepernick. They are...
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
There you go. They're misinformed. They're misinformed. Ignorant. When I see them saying and doing the things that they do, I just want to laugh. I'm like, you guys aren't even... You're not even looking in the mirror and seeing yourself for what you are. And it's nothing to do with being a patriot. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Now, I'll give credit to the people. You're probably cursing us out. Oh, you guys think you're patron saints. I'm not. I'm not a patron saint. Nope. I don't think I'm better than you.
Nope, not at all.
The intentions are good. Yep. All right? We are saying, people do
look
do
at
this.
My African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Right.
Our president said that.
Yeah, I'm not saying people who root for Trump or are Trump supporters are disrespecting the flag as well. I'm just saying that our full intentions are to be patriots, to have love and respect for our country. But I just want to point things out. People who throw glasses at, throw stones at glass houses.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Thank you.
There you go.
There you go.
Let me help you out there. To your boy,
thank you. You said it better than I could. Obviously.
Sorry, I didn't mean the.
It's okay.
The Trump you. I just wanted to. I get what you're saying, and you're 100% right. 100%.
Yeah. So just be cognizant of if you're gonna be knocking on the athletes, you might yourself be disrespecting the flag yourself. Just to say that.
And this is what I call the gall of the angry American.
Ooh.
This is why Europeans hate us. Europeans hate us because we... And don't get me wrong. The patriot in me thinks that it's kind of rightfully so. But Americans feel that we are the greatest nation in the world. Right? Mm. And we feel that we are so morally superior to everyone else that we are shocked when somebody does something that appears to be against America. Right? So, I was watching a very interesting interview with Montel Jordan. No, not Montel Jordan. Montel Williams. Montel Jordan. This is how we do it in the club.
This is how we do it.
What I meant was Montel Williams. Sorry. Anyway, with Montel Williams. And this is the point that I'm sure we were going to make, but I'll just go ahead and throw it out there now. I don't want to take anything away from you guys, but the gall of folks to sit up here, it blows me away that people have I can't think of a better word than gall, but just the I don't know,
the audacity,
whatever, to get so upset about this?
Someone taking a knee. I mean, come on. I think of taking a knee as an act of love. I mean,
What is?
most women are on their knees when giving blowjobs.
Oh, shit, here you go.
That's an act of love.
Here you go.
Oh god.
Sneaky is coming up.
Our
But no.
podcast is gonna fail now.
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
But think about it, guys. This is the reason. This if you ask my opinion is this: kneeling is the ultimate sign of patriotism. Right? That is what we can do because of the flag, because of our military, because of our Constitution. Our Constitution protects the ability for us to do just that. Everything great that has happened in this country has happened because of protest, be it peaceful or not so peaceful. Hell, the entire right-wing extremist side of the Republican Party dubbed themselves the Tea Party.
Freedom. Yeah, right?
The
Freedom.
Tea Party. The actual Boston Tea Party was protest. I don't understand why these patriots are so pissed off about what makes America America in the first place, which is protesting when things are going wrong and having the right to do so. So,
Well, just to provide some breathing room and maybe to take a potential pee break, we're going to go directly into sports after our 5-minute break. But stay tuned and don't go anywhere. This is El Guapo on Going Streaking Sports.